when you preach, it takes 15 to 20, 25 hours to put a message together and do it well. That's time that you can't be meeting with people. The thing I love more than teaching is like being with people and going to coffee. Those things matter to me as much, if not more, than teaching. So personally, growing up in the church, right, I started almost having like male exclusive pastoral leadership probably when I was about 11. And then like every pastor from 5th and 6th grade ministry to junior high and high school and college, they all cheated on their wives. And I watched the response of like these women, giving lots of grace where I don't know that I would ever have been able to do that, like not choosing bitterness when their husbands would leave them or whatever it was. There was such a profound like living out of Jesus's truth and teaching there, and that was largely the reason like why I stayed in faith after high school and into college, was seeing people like actually live it out and see how believable it was because they had went through what I can only assume is hell on earth, and still be committed to that. So that was a big part of it for me. My own mother, my mom is a huge, just absolute, force for the Lord in a lot of really profound ways that were never in the pulpit, So there's the background piece, and then I think about it as a dad now. Like my daughter's 5. I came home the other day and she was preaching to her stuffed animals there, and she was like, "Hey, Dad, like I'm like you, right? Like I'm preaching, right? I'm talking to them about God." She told them the story of Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus, and so I think about like it's great that my daughter sees me in that, but my daughter needs to see women, right? And kind of being a woman, she needs to see that the fullness of Jesus is male and female, and that's what his ministry represents and the humanity of that. And it's a big piece of that. And then like a selfish one, purely selfish. If you don't know, Andrea did a lot of improv with, coming through Second City, having an improv show on the Strip for a number of years in Las Vegas with Jason Sudeikis and a bunch of cool people. I'm a huge improv nerd myself, and I almost got my varsity letter in high school for improv. So if you're a real athlete, please don't beat me up outside there. But what improv to me represents is storytelling, right, and the ability to craft things that connect with people's soul. And Jesus is valuable in his storytelling in the New Testament, or Jesus' ministry is valuable because of how good he was at telling stories there. And so getting to have the chance to partner with somebody who's as talented and who's as good at storytelling and who can help me get better, it was one of the factors that kind of put us over the edge as a family for wanting to come up here, because we weren't going to have to be asked to teach 48 times out of the year. It's like, there's nobody that needs to hear from me 48 times a year, unless it's like an encouraging thing, When I was looking around for this kind of conversation, Mark Batterson, if you don't know, runs this really massive church in the district, in DC. And they have this amazing presence for what they do there. They own like the oldest movie theater in the city that they use to employ people. They're working on like this $50 million real estate deal to like buy a city block to be able to serve their community with like housing and transformative stuff and all of these things. And when he was talking about how he's able to do that, he expressly said that one of the chief reasons that God has been able to open up all these doors is because he doesn't preach every week. He preaches 26 times a year. And because of that, God has been able to use other opportunities, other connections, because when you preach, it takes 15 to 20, 25 hours to put a message together and do it well. And that's time that you can't be meeting with people. Right, and so for me, I love teaching. It's one of my favorite things to do, as a single thing. But the thing I love more than teaching is like being with people and going to coffee and spending time, doing hospital visits or funerals or weddings or whatever it is. Those things matter to me as much, if not more, than teaching. And so being a part of a team where that load is shared, I think one helps with the health piece that you're talking about for me, especially as a young pastor too. But also getting to do it with Andrea, it's like it's only going to make all of us better, and that's really exciting to me.